Welcome to Judge My Round with Tom Brennan. Let's get started watching your round, Karen, for the first time, just like I were judging your class. First impressions for an adult amateur round is I really like the pace. Hopefully you keep that going. It's nice and confident. A cute sort of chunky chestnut horse with a good square jump at the first jump. He's not the best mover. He's a little bit of a heavy mover. He's got some extra bone on him, but he looks perfectly suited for the job. Nice accurate ride up the first line. Really straight. That's what stands out to me there. Again, the pace is looking confident and good. Just straight as an arrow. Off the right lead, he seems to just lean in a touch, but nothing I would take off for.
This will be a handy round for 740. Harriet McDonald and Travis Dean.
Okay, that was probably our weakest line in terms of jumping form. That was a little bit of rider error. We'll go back and talk about that later. This is all matching up pretty well. And that's a nice last jump. I thought that all worked out very well for you. I think in a competitive class that would land somewhere around an 83 for me, depending on how the rest of the class developed and what it was looking like that day. Okay, Karen, I'm going to watch your round again. And we're going to go over a few things that, from a judging point of view, might improve your score. In general, it's a very well presented round. The horse isn't a classic hunter type, but he's going to be competitive in these classes because you ride well and you're a good match, and he does his job pretty well too. He really talks you into liking him more and more as he goes. So let's get started.
7-8, first round.
I'm impressed with the first jump. I judge a lot of amateur adult classes, and over I see people going too slow and too weak to the first jump. This was a nice start. I'd like to see him take a little bit longer in the air of the jump, but totally appropriate and a good start. His expression's great. It looks like he really enjoys his job. And in these next two lines, you're straight as an arrow. I feel like you rode that line very well. His balance is perfect for the adults, a little bit uphill. And I love this line as well. There's a minute where he might lean on you a little for that lead change. And I'm going to pause it there at the end of the ring for a moment. But it's not anything I would take off from. I just wonder if it doesn't affect his rideability for a step coming to this next line, because the last three jumps are really where I think you can improve your score. Your pace is great, but you have to realize, as someone watching the round, we think, well, okay, that's enough. You've done your job. You don't have to keep pushing him at the jump. A little bit at jump one it happened, but I wonder if that was just you convincing him that this is really how I want you to canter up to the jump in a forward way, and I didn't mind it. But here at the end of the course, you do push him past the end of this outside line. Let's hit play and we'll watch that. You're on a good gallop. There's no need to press him at the jump so hard.
This will be a handy round for 740. Harriet McDonald.
He's actually pretty nice on the way out. Let's rewind and we'll watch that one more time. And just imagine this looking like the first two lines rather than this sort of hurried time in the air. Just want it to last a little bit longer. You kind of snap shut with your body, and it makes his jump a little bit quicker than it needs to be. It happens at the last jump as well, but not to the same degree. So you can see he actually jumps the last jump well, and I love to see you pet your horse at the end. I think it always comes across to a judge that the rider likes their horse if they do. And it also comes across if they don't. But I thought that was a nice presentation. I think that you could be a little patient when you get to the jump in terms of your body and your ride. In general, you guys are a great pair, and it's fun to watch. Any of the pieces that keep him from getting a big, bold score are pretty much out of your control. He's just a little bit not the hunter type for me to score into the upper 80s. But I bet you win a lot of classes with this horse, and I'm sure I would let you win classes with this horse if I were judging. So let's go through one more time and remind ourselves of what is in our control and how many good things we have going for us. There's a lot to like, and you want to keep working on that. Accentuate the positives. You have a cute horse that jumps well. You've figured out how to gallop around on a stride that works for him, and you're pretty accurate. My advice is to keep thinking about those things when you go in the ring, to keep focusing on being smooth and making everything match. The fundamentals of a good hunter round don't change. You want it to be efficient, workmanlike, athletic, and consistent. These two lines are a great example of that. As we get to the end of the course, we're going to make sure we cool our jets a little. We're going to be a little patient, maybe work with a trainer about how to do that, because if we hurry our horse, he doesn't have the opportunity to come off the ground and show off his good style. All of this is about getting the best jump out of our horse that's possible. You're going to work on yourself and him so that you present him in the best version of himself as a show hunter. We want the last jump to look like the first jump. Karen, thank you for sharing your round and your horse with me. I really like him. My overall impression of the two of you is that it's a great partnership. I like the presentation, I like the picture, I like the turnout, I like the division that you're competing in. The pace is correct for the division. I do think it gets a little hurried at takeoff. So even though you have good pace, you could almost slow things down a bit for me at the jump. I hope that's something you and your trainer can work towards and understand. Please feel free to reach out if you have any follow-up questions about that. I think that'll improve your round quite a bit. You seem to really enjoy your horse, and that comes through in the way that you show him, at least in this video. It really was a pleasure to watch, and I want to take a moment to thank you for letting me judge your round.